nobody else but you. Nobody else made it smooth. Nobody else had a clue what I could do.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you don't know me, my name is Sarah Romano and I'm a fashion, beauty, and lifestyle influencer. And today's video is going to be a story time about how I almost got lost in Italy. So let's just get right into it. So basically I went to Italy of May of this year, and it was like my first time like traveling abroad like without my parents. And like at first like my parents are like super against it. So, you know, because, you know, obviously for reasons like they don't want me to get lost, you know, overprotective stuff that normal parents are like. I think it's like an 8-hour flight there, or like 10. Anyways, it's one of the two. But, so I barely like got any sleep on the flight. I got maybe like 1 or 2 hours of sleep, but other than that, like I didn't really sleep much on the plane. I was just like watching movies and stuff like that. And I landed around 6:30 a.m. their time. I landed in Milan and I was supposed to go to Florence. They have two types of trains in Italy. They have the Red Line train, and they have like a few different like brands of the Red Line. So like the red trains are like the ones that just go like direct from city to city. So like Florence, Milan, Rome, like they go city to city like non-stop. And then like they have the blue or like the green, which is like the local, like they stop in between towns. So basically we were supposed to go straight to Florence. There was something like wrong with the train. Like they said like rain, I don't know, like it just said that they weren't like really like descriptive as to why like the trains weren't working. So we were like, what are we gonna do? When you land in Milan, you have to take the train to Milan Centrale. So that's like the main like train places, because like the airport's a little bit like far off in Milan than like the main area of Milan. So they were like saying there's like no direct trains, like it's all like sold out. And I was like, okay, like how are we gonna get there? And so we asked the people that were working there, and it was a super long line. I literally had to get a ticket to be next in line. Like it was like a 20-30 minute wait. And like I'm carrying my luggage, like I'm so exhausted, and it's just like it was like a whole stress thing. I thought I was just gonna go up to the machine, pay for the train, and just go. It's not how it works. They told us like we had to take like a few connection trains. We were like, all right, whatever. So we had to wait like 2 hours. There was like a little cafe inside of the train place, the Milan Centrale. So just waited, and then the train took us to Bologna, I think. And once we got there, that's when all hell broke loose. Okay, like all hell broke loose. So once we got there, that train was also local, so it was making like a lot of stops. And you know, it's not like, you know, like the MTA train where it like, you know, maybe like takes like an hour 30 at best. No, it took like a few hours. Once we got there, any like nearby area to go to Florence, it was hard because it was flooding. So then now my mom's calling me on WhatsApp, like going crazy. She's like, where are you? Like, are you okay? Like, what part of Italy you're trying to go to? Like, I hope you're not trying to go to Florence. And I was like, oh no, that's where we're trying to go. And she was like, what? She was like, I've seen people getting lifted by helicopter, and like she's going all crazy. She's like, oh my god, like what are you gonna do? This and that. Like my mom, she be stressing like anytime I leave the house in New York, okay? And then like Miami, whenever I go to like Florida or whatever, like a different state, you know, she'd be a little like, you know, she'd be going crazy about that too. But now I'm on the other side of the world. She's like, So I'm like, I'm having my mom like scream in like my ear, trying to figure out what I'm trying to do. So they said that the train's not gonna go. So like, okay. So they said there's gonna be a bus. So we're like, all right. And then I wanted to double check that was factual, because, you know, many different people that worked at the train place were saying many different things. So then I asked this lady, she was like, what bus? There's no such thing as a bus. I was like, what? Not no such thing, but she was like, what bus? What are you talking about? Like, it's not happening. And like, I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, but somebody just said that there's gonna be a, she was like, no, there's gonna be a train, da da da. I was like, all right. So then I asked like the booth people that work directly for the line, because they have like two types of workers in those types of train stations. They have the one that works directly for each brand line, and then they have one that works for like just the Centrale and like give like information. So I asked the person that worked for like the train brands, and then they were on the phone. Everybody's asking the same question because they're all trying to go to Florence as well. And they said that there's gonna be a bus, that 2 buses are coming, and that we should go wait outside. So we were like, where then? So it was out in front of the train station. So we're waiting, 30 minutes, 40 minutes go by. There's like 200, 300 people outside, tourists with luggages. And I'm like, there's no way that all of us are gonna fit on these 2 buses. And I'm like, I'm getting on that bus. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm getting on that bus, okay? Like, ladies first. Anyways. And I was just like, you know, like, I was like, my legs hurt. Like, oh my God, it was just unbelievable. And then, you know, like, we're standing there, 30, 40, 50 minutes pass by. I'm like, all right, let's ask, like, how much is it gonna be for, like, a taxi? So, you know, they're gonna try to take advantage. Situation is. So they were like 400, 500 euros. Like, I was gonna do that if it was like worst comes to worst, or just like stay the night in Bologna and just get a hotel. But I was like, no, we're gonna figure this out. So now this guy, something tells me to ask this guy that comes out, like, what's going on. So I go up to him and I'm like, do you know where the buses are? He was like, what bus? I was like, why do you think we're all standing outside? We're trying to get a bus to Prato. I think that was like where the city was called, because we were supposed to go to Prato and then from Prato go to Florence. So we had to make a few stops. And he was like, oh, there's no bus going to Prato, but there's a train leaving in 5 minutes going to Prato, and it's like, you know, it's here. I was like, what? I was like, well, can you take us there? And then he was like, yeah. So now everybody's listening to my conversation, like 150, 200 people listening to my conversation with me. And then I hear somebody say behind me, follow her, follow her. So now we're all like running, we're walking up and down, like I'm running a marathon at this point, like. And then I'm hearing like the train, like the whistle for the train. I'm like, hell nah. So I start like running. I'm running. I got like tiny legs, okay? Like I'm not, you know, my Habesha jeans, they did not pull through. I don't know how to run that well, okay? Like I'm not built for that. And I'm like running, I'm running, like, you know, like you get like a stomach cramp from running. Like I literally got like a stomach cramp. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm like panicking. I'm like, there's no way. In my head, I'm like, there's no way this is happening right now. Like I'm literally like stuck in like a foreign country. I don't know what I'm doing, where I'm going. I'm like, I'm praying to Jesus at this point. I'm like, please help me, like, please help me. So I finally get on the train and I run into this like couple. They're like from Houston, and we were just like talking the whole train ride. He was saying that how the train went halfway there and it came all the way back because of the flooding and they couldn't go. So I was like, oh, I hope that doesn't happen. So it's like this is also a local train, so it's making local stops. And, you know, every single stop it goes, it was, like, going, like, 20 minutes, like, stopping at that stop, then going. I think I had, like, over 20 stops on that bus, but it was a lot. It was a lot. And I was standing up for most of it, trying to hold on to my luggage. And in my head, I'm just like, I just hope this nightmare is almost over. So I get to Prato, whatever it was called. I don't know. Don't come at me. Let me look it up, actually, because I remember it was similar to Prada. So let me see, Prato. Let's see. Yeah, I think it is Prato. Yeah, it is Prato. I'm at Prato. Now I gotta take a train from Prato to Florence, okay? So another local train. I had to run up and down the stairs because like the train stations are like a little bit weird there. It's a little bit more like complex, like, you know, because a lot of their signs are in Italian, obviously, and they have some in English, but, you know, like, and, like, sometimes, like, in the MTA, like, subway, I do get lost, you know, because if I'm, like, unfamiliar with the station, I will get, like, lost. And they leave at, like, a certain time, and it's not like they run every, like, 5-10 minutes, like, in New York. Like, they run every, like, hour or, like, 30 minutes. So, like, you miss it, like, done for. And then, so I get on that train and I'm like standing, and this train ride wasn't that long, it was like super quick. compared to the other ones. And then I finally get to Florence, and like I feel like a weight has been lifted off of me. And then it was like a few like minute walk to my hotel. And I called my mother and I was like, hey ma, like I'm in the hotel, like I'm in Florence. And she was like, oh thank God, this and that. You know what time I got to my hotel? 8 p.m. I landed at 6:30 a.m. and I got there 8 p.m. I was like, nah, like that just like set it off for like my whole trip. So that kind of like turned me off from the trip a little bit. But once I got to the hotel, I was able to like recollect my thoughts, and I was like, thank God, like I listened to my intuition. Nobody was like going up to like that guy, like asking like the right questions, you know, like especially when you're in a foreign like country, like super important to ask questions. Like it's important to ask the locals. Like you don't need to be like prideful and like, oh, like you don't need help. Like you do. Trust me, you do. Because you know, I'd rather ask a stupid question and like get to where I need to go than like be clueless and get lost. So yeah, that was not fun. That was not fun, but I guess like I kind of laugh at that now. That was not funny in the moment. I wanted to cry. I wanted to like break down and cry, because like I was like, I'm so far away from home, like what am I gonna do? Like, you know, like in those like situations, like you like kind of look to like your parents, and that like in Canada, like when I went to Canada like a few years back with my parents, like I was like really young, and I remember like we got lost, but like my parents like kept everything like under control. Like I wasn't worried because like my parents, they weren't worried. When you're panicking and all that, like it doesn't, you're not gonna get anywhere. So it was important for me that, you know, like I kept it together and I didn't panic, because if I did panic, like I wouldn't have like been in the right mind state, because in situations like that it's important to keep your cool. But anyways, yeah, and my mom, she was like, wow, you see, you're all grown up now. And you know, because like my parents, they always like, they still see me as like a baby, but you know, whatever, it's fine. But you know, like I learned like a valuable like lesson that under pressure I could, if I like really like keep it together, I could do what I need to do to survive. You know, I don't want to be like too dramatic, but I mean, I was gonna be alright. Like I was just being like a little bit dramatic, but you know, like I was just trying to go where I need to go. Like definitely the next time I go anywhere, I'm gonna land in the city where I plan to stay, cause like sometimes it's like cheaper if you fly to like different like cities. Like Rome obviously like costs like more when you fly directly there compared to like Milan or something like that. So you know, so was it worth saving a few extra $100? I don't even know, like, because it wasn't supposed to work like that. I just got really unlucky. But also, I didn't know that you could buy the tickets ahead of time online. But even if I did buy the tickets ahead of time online for the train, it wouldn't have worked out in my favor, because you know, the train still wasn't making that stop, so that sucks, but it's alright. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Nobody